happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. My name is Joanne. I am your host today, and I am super excited to, of course, bring you our next guest today, who really focuses on how to start out as a beginner. A lot of her content has been that's been her focus of really helping those that are just one or two steps ahead of her. So without further ado, please welcome to the show. Is it Cassandra or Cassandra? Which one?
Cassandra.
Cassandra. Awesome. Yeah. I love it. Well, welcome this morning.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So this is your first time on the show, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. You took the challenge in October. Is that correct?
Yes. I think I started the beginning of October. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So share with us what life was like before, what you were looking for. Were you looking for us, or did we just happen upon us one day?
I just happened upon you, more or less. Actually, I happened to be sitting on my couch scrolling through Facebook, and one of the reels, where it always says like suggested reels, one of them come through, and I was like, well, that's interesting. So I clicked on one of them, and I went to her page and I watched several other reels, and I was like, well, I wonder what she does. And I went on. Well, then a couple of days later, I happened to see another reel by somebody else kind of advertising, the same thing. And it was just how to get out of that, paycheck to paycheck life. And I was like, well, I need to know what they're doing, that they're able to make this income. They're able to make this kind of passive, just make your life a little bit better. And I thought, well, I got to figure this out. So that's when, I went back to the other page that I'd seen first, and I reached out, and I thought, you know what? I got to give this a try. I got to give it a valid effort and try it and see where it leads. So that was my whole intention. And I've been in it for 4 months now. And I will say, I love it. I love everything that it's taught me. And it's most definitely, I feel this, with all the education that I received, it's like, it just shifted the way that I think about things. There's no more of that. Well, this is just how we got to live. It's like, no, we don't. No, we don't. You just need to open up and know that there's other ways out there. So, I mean, my husband and I both work full time, and we have 3 kids. And I mean, as well as I do, grocery prices are outrageous, and I'm feeding 3 boys. So,
right. And I think they're young, and man, I have one teenage boy, and it's like,
yeah,
where is it all going? Where is the food going?
Exactly. I mean, I had a little brother, and I watched him eating. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if these 3 boys, they're going to eat me out of house and home, I'll never be able to afford it.
Right. That alone, you need to have a side hustle, right?
Exactly.
So let's flash back a little bit to the challenge. You dove in. Did you go 2 feet right into day one, full force going through the days, or did you take your time? How did that go?
Well, I mean, I dove in head first. I mean, I didn't ask a whole lot of questions. And that's where I'm like, I can't believe I didn't ask more questions and be more skeptical, because I just wasn't. And, now when I get messages, I'm like, man, these people are a lot more skeptical than I ever was. I don't know why I wasn't. I dove in head first and went right at it. Now, it took me longer than 15 days to actually complete the whole thing. Like I said, I work full time, and I have 3 boys. So when I come home, it was take a couple of minutes here and there and watch a video or 2 or whatever I can get through, trying to do it that way. But as much as I could, I was on my phone watching the videos, even on my lunch break at work. So anything I could to, soak up all the information and get all the education in and try and get it done. So, and I just remember getting started and laying in my bed one night, not being able to sleep with all these ideas of being so excited.
Right. Oh, I love that. So I think that's what you touched on. Let's touch on that a little bit more. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't have time. But you really have to make the time.
You make the
time.
Instead
of sitting in your car, eating lunch, staring at whatever, or, putting on streaming Netflix for 30 minutes.
There you go. Yeah.
You stream the challenge. You
I was
stream your
streaming the
education.
challenge instead. I was coming home, and instead of sitting down and like watching, Netflix or something like that, or just simply, my thing was I would come home from work and, I'd do the usual. I'd make supper, we'd clean supper up, and then I might sit down on the couch for a few minutes and just scroll TikTok aimlessly. And my friends all knew when I was scrolling TikTok because they would get lots of videos. I would be sending all the funny videos. So they didn't get as many when I was doing the challenge because I was busy. And,
Right.
I just changed what I did. Instead of scrolling social media endlessly and aimlessly, I just went ahead and replaced that time with learning about how social media could create an income for me. And that's what I did. And like you said, you have to create the time, you have to want it, and you have to create that time. And that's what I did. And my lunch break, I'm watching the videos, I'm coming home and not scrolling social media. I'm watching the 15-day challenge instead. So,
Right. Don't you feel like when you make that switch from the zombie scroll and, oh my God, I just actually blew like 45 minutes of nothing, to being productive online, like it just builds your confidence. It like you feel like you have a purpose almost.
oh yeah.
Just
Yeah. I mean,
switching what you're doing with it.
yeah, before, it's funny because before this even, I didn't post videos or photos of myself. It was very rare for me to post a video or a photo of myself. The only thing I ever had on my social media was my children. I
Right.
posted about them all the time, posted pictures of them, but never really anything about me. And so this was a huge change for me to go from videos of them to just videos of myself. But now I find myself not even, I told somebody the other day, I said, I couldn't tell you the last time I was on my personal Facebook page. Like, I don't really know what's going on Facebook world because I'm not on it. My time now is spent on my business page, on all of those, and taking care of the messages that I receive and helping people out.
Yeah.
So my social media, I guess I haven't been on there in a while.
Way more fun that way.
Exactly, it is.
So. The
It's
other
a
way
lot,
is
like you said, a lot more productive these
a lot
days.
more productive, and it just helps you feel better about yourself because you're doing something. There's a purpose behind it.
Yes.
Instead of just escaping the day or escaping the moment, and right?
Right. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so let's go back to that piece about going on video. So before, you never had pictures or videos of yourself. Not a lot.
No.
Typical
No.
mom, right? There's pictures of
Right.
everybody else except you. And
Exactly.
now you need to create reels. Now you need to create some videos.
And you know what?
How did that go when you first started?
Oh my goodness. My oldest son is 8, and he would kind of laugh at me because he would see me trying to create these videos, and he's like, and now he asks me, he's like, Mommy, are you creating a video? I'm like, but before I did this, I had never created the first reel. I had never made one.
Right.
My Instagram, the only thing I did on it was I would post pictures, and like I said, mostly pictures of the kids or something like that. It was never anything about me. It was never anything. I never created a reel. And I remember shortly after I started the challenge, I did make one reel and posted it to my personal Facebook page. My husband had done this wonderful upgrade to our back porch. And so I made this little reel and added some audio to it. Thought, I'll make this and just kind of get the feel for how that goes. That was the first one I had made.
Nice.
And more or less, it was one of those, well, I made it because I felt like, well, I probably better figure this out before I go posting on my business page. And the first few reels took me a really long time. They did. Right. Just, like anything else, lots of practice. And with lots of practice, you'll get better at it and you'll get more comfortable with it. So it was definitely uncomfortable to watch myself at first.
Yeah, it's almost better to just not watch it. Just create it.
Oh yeah, it's better to not look at it and scrutinize it too much. You'll get enough of that on social media. So
right, exactly. Do you have a lot of trolls and a lot of negative comments that come in?
So far, no, I haven't really received a lot. I've only received like 1 or 2. Thank goodness. I've been very lucky in that aspect. I did make one of my videos about that because I knew going into this, I'm going to have somebody that wants to make a negative comment or that wants to make a negative comment about me. And And I knew it. I knew it was going to come. And so I just thought, well, when the day comes, and that's okay. And so I did have one person that commented on my eyebrows. So, but then I made a joke about it and I laughed about it. And I told some of the people that I work with, I work in healthcare. I told one of my patients about it. And he actually, every day after that, had to make a comment to me. He's like, you should really rethink your eyebrows. He told me every day. And I just thought, so I just laughed it off and went on, because you're going to have those people that differ in opinion from you. And that's okay.
They're going to be there no matter what you do. How you look doesn't matter. They're going to be there. And we can choose to put our energy into the negative people, or we can choose to put our energy into the people that are there for the right reason.
Yes.
But we can't put our energy into both. So
right, we can't. No.
Who are you going to listen to? Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to react to? Who's going to decide your emotions that day if you're letting them kind of affect you?
Right. And I knew I was like, well, you're not going to change anybody's opinion. And if they have a negative opinion about even what you're promoting, even when I'm making the videos and somebody makes a negative comment about what I'm doing, it's like, that's okay. I know I won't change your mind, and that's all right. It's life goes on, and they're just missing opportunities. That's all.
Right. I think most people that are negative online are just trying to make themselves feel better because of something negative in their own life.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
has nothing to do with the person they're actually posting about.
Right. Yep.
You got some cheerleaders in the comments saying your eyebrows are the bomb. They're amazing.
I know.
So
I know. That's good. Great. I work really hard on these. Took a long time. Lots of practice for this.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So when you started out, you're fresh out of the challenge. How did you decide what content to create?
So,
plan.
I mean, at first, I kind of did the copy and paste. I started out and did copy and paste. I was like, okay, well, these people are making these videos and I'm going to do the same. But in the back of my mind, I always knew, I was like, I need a different approach. I have to approach this differently because everybody's doing this. And yes, it's working for them, but I need to stand out from the crowd. I need to do something differently. Yeah. So my thought was, everybody that I seen online was 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year. They're so well established in this. And I thought, you know what? Not one of these people has started out showing what it looks like from day one. Now, granted, my day one video was not, like day one, but I wanted to show them, hey, I'm new to this and let's go through it. I'll show you what the journey looks like. Mm-hmm. And as I learn new things, I will post about it. I had actually reached out to a mentor and kind of, had them look over my stuff because I thought, why not get a little guidance? And, that's in the back of my mind thinking, if you want to take this seriously, you reach out and you talk to others. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to try and talk to somebody else about it, see, what their thoughts were. And he kind of told me already what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Show people what it looks like from day one. Show them what it looks like to be a beginner and let them know that everybody starts at that stage. Everybody starts with no followers and zero experience, and you don't really know what you're doing, but you keep working, you be consistent.
Mm-hmm. And you know something more than the people that are watching you.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need to remember. And you're right with the copy paste issue that goes on. People that are 10 months, a year, 2 years into their business are at a different stage of their strategy.
Right.
So you can't copy and paste and it'll work for you when you're not at the same stage.
Right, right. And the thing that struck me the most when I was watching the videos on Legendary, when I was watching the challenge, I just kept remembering, okay, Dave said edutainment. You got to have edutainment. And I was like, okay, I need to find something to educate these people and I need to make it entertaining. And so that's what I tried to do. And for me, I like stuff that's something's going to make me laugh. Something's going to be kind of funny. So then when I would find, content that I wanted to create, I tried to make it somewhat laughable and funny and show up that way, as along with showing the beginner's journey, because I thought, well, I enjoy funny stuff, funny reels. And so that's kind of, I wanted to bring my own personality into it too.
Exactly. And that's how you bring you into it. And everyone needs to bring their own self into the content.
Yes. Yes. Not be like everybody else. You can't just be
Yep.
with the rest of the crowd. You got to be a little different. You got to bring, like you said, your own value to it. So
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love that. Let me get your social handles up because people are excited to follow you.
oh, I
Let
hope
me
so.
pop that up on there. So, do you plan it out ahead? Do you batch? Do you do a little bit each day? What does your week look like, knowing that you still work full time? You're a mom of 3 boys and all of that.
Yes. So if I happen to actually find maybe an audio or something that I'm like, oh, I could make something really good from this, I usually go ahead and save it. And then if I can come home that evening and it's an audio that I know I can make quickly, then I try and make it quickly that evening. And I have actually done some of the batching because that was so helpful. And to be truthful, what I've done is on Sundays, I would go to my mom and dad's house and my boys would play downstairs with my mom and dad. And I would go up to my mom's bedroom and, I'd batch create a lot of content that I had saved through the week. And that was what helped me so much. That helped me a ton because,
Oh,
like
I
you
love
said, when
that.
I'm working full time, if I go ahead and I just kind of batch create things, then I can post them through the week. I can post at least one a day. And that was, my goal at first was, okay, I'm going to try for one a week because I knew it'd be hard. And then now I'm, at least one video a day, at the very minimum, one video a day. Sometimes if I get enough batch created, I'll do 2, but
Right.
that's rough.
Right. It sounds like you have a really supportive family. Like you were open from the start, like this is what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
it all went okay, or did anyone question it? How did
I
that
mean,
go?
they looked at me like I was crazy, especially,
Mhm.
my mom and dad. The thing I told my dad was, well, I'm figuring out how to make money in my sleep, dad. So he just kind of, that was what I told him. So
I
he just
love
goes,
that.
okay.
But man, I love your attitude from the start. You weren't concerned what they thought about it. You're like,
Mhm.
this is what I'm doing. This is my new business. This is my future. And this is the help I need from you.
Yep.
So they had buy-in because you were confident about it when you delivered it.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I obviously wasn't there during the conversation, but I can just tell just by
Yeah.
how you're describing it. That's
Yeah.
key. It's not like, so I'm kind of doing this online thing. You instead be like, no, I started a business. It requires me to market and create content, and this is the help I need.
Yeah. Yeah. And my mom was just like, well, that's fine, whatever. And she would
Yeah.
see me come over and I would have like my tripod and, and my sister, when like Christmas came around, my sister was like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And I mean, here we are going through Target and I was like, I could really use a tripod. And so I was like, that would be great. I would love that for Christmas. So it was, they were definitely very supportive. I mean, I did get the funny looks, they're like, okay, well, what exactly are you doing? And I mean, my husband even did the same thing. He's like, but I don't really get what you're promoting. And I'm like, well, don't worry about it. Just watch the kids for 5 minutes. Okay.
Right. I need
It's
this from you. You do that.
yes.
And
Yes.
eventually I'll show you the bank account and you'll understand.
Right. And then you'll be like, oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, he's kind of looked at me funny a couple of times, and I still won't make any reels in front of him. If he comes in the house and I'm like, could you go back outside for a little bit? I still got another video to make. So my
I get
kids though,
that.
they
Yeah.
stare at me like I'm funny.
Like you're making a video for thousands of people online, but you don't want that one person in the room staring at you.
No, right? Right. I mean, here I am, got like 32,000 followers on Facebook, and I'm like, well, I'm going to show all them this video, but you can't see it.
Right.
Like, I don't want you watching me making it.
Publicly to the world, but don't watch me make it and don't go back and watch it.
Right. Yeah.
I love it. But he's supportive, and that's what
Oh,
matters.
very.
right?
Very
He's not
supportive. Yeah.
sitting there questioning, getting angry. He's going, okay, I'll take the kids outside for 5 minutes so you can do what you need to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Right?
And then when I showed him, I'm like, look, this is working for me. He's like, well, I'm really proud of you, and so he did. He hopped on board then when he's seen that, it is working. I am showing success in it. That's when he was like, okay.
Yeah. What do you think was your biggest hurdle to overcome when transitioning from learning to implementing?
Oh gosh. For me, I think it was knowing that I needed to be consistent. And there were more than once, I felt this urge to quit. And I thought, why am I doing this? This is crazy. I'm not getting anywhere, and it was definitely that I shouldn't do this. Like who's going to want to watch me? And I did. I had that was there. It was in the back of my mind to want to quit. And I remember coming across, like a saying or something on Facebook that did tell you, it said something about right before you quit, that's you're this close to seeing success. And so I thought, okay, well, I got to keep pushing through and pray that this is right. So, and I did. I kept going. And then I thought, I'm having these feelings. Why not make content about that? Because everybody else is going to feel the same way. They're going to, at some point, you're going to feel like I should just quit, especially when you're in the beginning and you're not seeing, the success that you might see others advertise. Everybody's success is different and comes at different times. And it's hard, I think, to understand that when you're just starting out, because you just see other people doing so well. And you're like, well, why not me? What am I doing wrong? And it's just, your success will come at a different time.
Yeah, we can't compare. They're on day 300, you're on day 1.
Right.
It's a different part
Absolutely.
of the journey. But man, I want to sit in this a little bit longer for all the people in the back to hear.
All the people in the back, that's right.
It's normal to feel overwhelmed.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Normal to feel like you should quit. It's normal to have fear.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
These
Fear
are
of
normal
failure.
emotions. You are not alone in thinking, I'm the only one that feels this way. Everyone else is online killing it and excited and not scared and not thinking about quitting, and they're not having hard days. Every single person online, every single business owner, every single entrepreneur has bad days.
Yep.
All the time.
We all have bad days.
And they will again 3 years from now, and they will again all the time. It never goes away. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
How you respond to it is what matters.
You're right.
Yeah. It's how you respond. And you responded with, let's go. Let's keep going.
Keep pushing through. You can't be a quitter. It was one thing Mom and Dad always said, if you start something, you don't quit. So I'm seeing it out to the end.
You figure it out. Because quitting is choosing to stick with what you didn't want, the life you didn't want, the job you didn't want, the schedule you didn't want.
Right. Because that was something that, if you don't make change, there won't be any change. If you don't reach out and try something different, that saying of, if you keep doing the same thing, you can expect the same results. I know you guys probably keep hearing my kid crying in the background.
Okay.
He's not happy right now that I'm not out there with him.
Okay. It's fine. No worries. As long as you don't need to go see him, you're good.
No, his dad's out there with him, so he's fine.
We're good then. No worries.
Right. But you know how it is. Kids always want their mom.
Yep.
So, yeah. But, when you talked about being overwhelmed, that was definitely a feeling I had in the very beginning, because I've been in healthcare for 14 years. And for me, I had zero tech experience. I was not a tech savvy person. I had the understanding. I knew how to operate a computer. I knew how to operate a cell phone. I could do all the basics on it. But when it came down to actually creating videos and doing things like that, I didn't know what I was doing. And when they started talking about things, on how to build your website, when they started talking about the tools that you use, oh my goodness. I remember thinking they've got to be speaking Chinese because I don't understand this.
Right.
And it's just that, it's just a matter of like, just learning it, just going through. And I did a lot of Googling. I tell everybody, I was like, Google was my best friend. I did Google things because, how to do this or do that. And I figured it out. So it was definitely just, you just look at it and if you want to understand it, you'll put the effort in to get there. But it's definitely confusing at first. And that's what I try and tell everybody, when they reach out and they want to get started, I always make sure I tell them, listen, I will help you and I will be here to guide you. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me because I want to help them be successful too. And I know that in the beginning, that feeling of like, I don't know how to do this techie stuff. It was different.
Well, and it's sometimes we feel like I should know how to do all of this and have everything set up in the next hour and be amazing. And when I don't, I've failed. No, you failed. Take a deep breath, take a step back, and let's problem solve one thing at a time.
Exactly.
And allow yourself some grace because you're learning something new.
Absolutely. Yes. Give yourself grace.
Yeah. And just instead of trying to problem solve 10 things at once. All right.
Let's start with one.
All right. Let's figure this one thing out and go from there. And then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes. There was a comment. I'm going to address it that I saw. It already left my screen. All they're seeing is affiliate marketing content. So the market is saturated. So I'm going to address this right now and I'll let you hop into this one as well. The market is not saturated. It's the algorithm feeding you the things it thinks you want to see because that's what you've been watching. If you create a brand new account within TikTok, you won't see a single one of those videos.
No, you will not. You're so right. And I think that is, they get this misperception that, it's saturated. No, it's not. Do you know how many people live in this world? It's not saturated. And that's the other thing is, they think that it's saturated. And like you said, it's the algorithm. It's feeding you what you've already liked. You liked this video or you clicked on their page and you looked at it. So it's going to feed you more of that. Because that's what the Facebook Reels did to me. I clicked on one person's reel. I went to her page and I did give her a follow. Actually, I remember I screenshot her name so that if I wanted to go back, I could go back and look at it. And I did. And, after that, yes, it fed me more reels that were of the same thing. And that is why I ended up going back and saying, you know what? I got to give this a try. So yeah, it's definitely not saturated. It's what the algorithm feeds you.
Well, it's the social media company who's there to make money off of ads, right? Its goal is to keep you in the app. That's its whole goal. So it wants to find what you're interested in that moment to keep you scrolling so that every third, fourth post,
you're seeing an ad.
Yep. So it's adjusting to what you are watching. It's adjusting to what you're telling that platform is your interest in this moment. So that's what it's feeding you. So we've got to use that to our advantage as marketers, right?
Oh, yeah.
We can't market to other affiliate marketers. We need to market to our ideal audience, whether it's moms or dads, so that we land in their scroll, in their feed.
Yes.
While they're doing the zombie, scroll.
Zombie scroll is
seeking their attention. Yes. Right? We've got to make that switch. Don't market to other marketers. Market to your ideal audience.
Absolutely. Yes, you do. And you got to figure out what that ideal audience, what are they looking for?
Right. Yep. And that's where you bring in your personality. That's where that entertainment and education comes into play.
Yes.
And that's the strategy that those are those small little steps that are so crucial that people are forgetting about early on. What would you say
Yes.
about that? What do you think is important in there?
Yes, you are right. And that was something that I struggled with at first, was trying to find like, well, who is my ideal audience and what do I want to try and teach them and what do I want them to know? Trying to figure that out can be a little confusing at first. And, it was just a matter of me getting in there, creating content, and then, watching and seeing what some of the other affiliate marketers kind of looking at their content. And then something I said that I always, something I did that helped me was I also started following like social media coaches and watching their tips and their tricks and things like that, and really figuring out how does the algorithm work and how can I make it work to my advantage. That was something else that I did. Started following the social media coaches because they have a lot of good advice. And so then I'm not just following a lot of other affiliate marketers. Right. And I think that really helped me too, was following them and knowing how to create content that, like you said, stops that zombie scroll and catches their attention. So
I do want to add this though. You can't plan and be married to that strategy and plan before you've ever posted a video. You have to start implementing and learning from implementing.
Yes.
It's part of the journey. It's part of the path to more knowledge and growth of your business.
Yeah.
So don't just sit and plan it all and there's no videos going out. You start posting and see what happens. How does the market respond to it, right?
Yeah.
And add that information back.
Yeah. And I mean, when I started posting the reels and the videos, I remember telling myself from the very beginning, like, I'm not going to sit here and watch this 100 times, because I knew I would pick it apart and I wouldn't post it. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to try and make it perfect, because that was another thing that I knew I would struggle with, is trying to make the post perfect. It'll never be perfect. Post it anyway, because the imperfections may actually draw somebody in. Because I've had a lot of people that, they reach out to me and they're like, well, you just seemed genuine. Like I could talk to you. And I'm like, that's what I want. I want you to know that I'm here to help. And
that seems to be that, a few years ago, you needed to have like the studio and look like this professional.
Perfect.
People don't want that.
No.
They don't want that. They want to talk to a real person like they're at coffee with a friend.
Yep. They want it to be real. They want it to be genuine.
Whatever you prefer, where you hang out with friends, grilling on a Sunday, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
They want to feel like you're that person with them.
Yes, you're right. That's what they're looking for now. They're not looking for the perfection. And I'm sure glad they're not.
Right. All right. We're going to talk to Gary here. I so wish I was a young mom instead of an old construction superintendent. Seems they're all crushing it. The world is not all young moms.
Nope.
Right?
You're right.
Go after the other part of the world that isn't that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've followed a couple of other affiliate marketers that are crushing it. And I always tell them, I said, listen, you know what? Age is just a number. And all that age means is that you're just a little bit wiser than I am. So you got a lot more to bring to the table.
Yep. And a lot of history, a lot of, who cares about that? A lot of stories of, roadblocks and wins that you can just share that you went through, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of blue collar workers that don't want to be blue collar anymore. Hit that market.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It's okay. We don't have to all go after the moms. It's just what that algorithm's feeding you, affiliate marketers.
Just feeding you the moms.
Right? Totally. So what would you leave with anyone watching right now that just started the challenge and is like, I don't know if I can do this?
Well, you're always going to doubt yourself. You're always going to wonder whether you made the right decision. And you just have to know that as long as you're consistent and as long as you keep pushing through, and just keep educating yourself, you're going to make it. You're going to be successful. The only way you can fail is if you quit. That's when you fail, when you quit.
Right. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I'm going to let you get back to your little ones.
Yeah.
And
the smallest one, he's really a mama's boy.
Yeah, we'll definitely need to have you back, and you can meet Dave and all of that good stuff. So definitely come back on the show. Reach out and be like, hey, I want to come back on. Let's do it. We'll get you on. Okay.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'm so glad you guys reached out to me. That was like one thing I remember watching these, and I thought, oh my gosh, one of my goals is to be on here. You know, I was so excited when he reached out. I loved it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Have a great day. Enjoy your little one.
Thank you. You too.
Wow, what a great interview. Go back and watch. We really touched on a lot of pieces for beginners. I did see another question I want to answer. You do not have to go live. It's not required. Does it help a lot of people grow their business? It definitely does. But there are definitely affiliates out there that haven't gone live at all. So it's really what works best for you and your business. Test things out, but you can't test unless you implement. So get out there, post those videos, post content, engage with your audience, push yourself out of your comfort zone, allow yourself some growth, and have a great day. Dave is back tomorrow with another guest, a dating coach who's built a massive following of over 500,000 people online. Don't miss it. You will want to be there. Actually, it's not a dating coach. Excuse me. It's a parenting coach for teens. Even better. I'm going to need that. I'm going to tune in with my 3 teenagers in the house. So tune in with Dave interviews him, and as always, legendary.